Welcome to the Black Appalachian Coalition's podcast entitled Blac Re-Membering, where we will bring to you the heavy and the hope across the Ohio River Valley. We want to remember who we are, where we've come from. We want to speak to the oral history of what we've done, what we've achieved. We want to speak to the ills that we have experienced, while also finding solutions to those problems, those issues. We want to deal with the narrative that has kept us deeply rooted in despair. Now we want to punch through that narrative and stand up and say, we are remembering our Black past, and we are rooted, and we are here to stay. Welcome to Blac Re-Membering. We hope that you find your place, your space, and your voice in this podcast. Greetings, everybody. I am Bishop Marcia Dinkins, founder and executive director of the Black Appalachian Coalition and Black Women Rising. I am so honored to be with you here today. The purpose for me joining you is to just let you in on a little secret. We're going to be launching the Black Appalachian podcast entitled Blac Re-Membering, highlighting the heavy and the hope. You will hear from fellows who are speaking with people who have lived experience along the Ohio River Valley, which is Kentucky and Ohio and West Virginia and Pennsylvania. But we've taken the liberty to also step into places like Georgia and the Carolinas. We want to dive into the 13 Appalachian states because we know that our roots run deep. With this podcast, we're going to be highlighting the heavy and the hope. We know there's so much going on out here that creates so much apathy, so much pain, so much despair. But we also know that inside of all of that heaviness, there are driplets of hope. And if we just allow enough drops, we can make a puddle. We can begin to fill a glass. And we can begin to allow that glass to fall over, to spill over, into the lives of others. Remembering that we are who we are because of us. Resistors. We were revisionist, resilient. We have strong shoulders that we can stand on. We've heard rhetorical questions asked by our ancestors like Sojourner Truth when she said, ain't I a woman or aren't I a woman? It just depends on who you're listening to. And then we have people today like Dr. Frank X. Walker and Dr. William Turner, who both have approached the Black identity from different perspectives. Dr. Frank Turner speaking to the Appalachian to give people a place to rest in their identity because they couldn't and they didn't want to identify as Appalachian because of the harm. And he found a word that they could sit comfortably in as they began to heal. But then you bring in Dr. William Turner, who spoke to the stories in the mountains and brought about the history that runs so deep within the souls of Black people. We have Marie Cochran, who speaks about place and space, and you'll hear from her in our podcast. You'll also hear from Shanita Jackson, also known as Nita Jade, an Appalachian poet who will be holding down the podcast for Kentucky and North Carolina. Kimyada Patterson, who's in Warren, Ohio, and she'll be bringing you stories from people in Warren, Ohio, and what is it going to take to bring a community together. And then Melanie Mead, who speaks to health and the holistic approach that we need. She lives in Clariton, and there was a place that was once thriving like so many of our communities, but now it's Cancer Alley. The purpose of this podcast is to create opportunities where people can tell their stories in a safe space. They can tell their stories and not be out in the open, but they get to bring their voice into the spaces that we occupy. A place where people can listen safely and listen in the way that they want to, in the timing, and not feel like somebody is trying to superimpose. It's a place where we're breaking down the struggle story. It's that place where we can hold down the holla, making some noise and living out loud. Yeah, this podcast is about the ancestral remembering as we bring forth the history, as we tell the stories, as we lean back and lean into the arms of those who we build upon. Our mothers, our fathers, our grandparents, our great-grandparents, the rich history of the soil that was prepared so that we can embrace the seeds in our life to take root. This is about creating avenues for narrative strategy. It's about being able to confront injustice in a creative way and taking this information and bringing it forth. And people can just sit if they have to sit in the amen corner. It's that place where the elders can just sit and rock in their chairs and say, yep, I remember when. It is that place where we get to create legacy for our children while also realizing what we need today. It's that place where we can fight in the way that we need to fight and define whatever we need to define in the way that's conducive to us. This podcast is home for some, liberation for others, and we hope healing for all. It's a place where you are reminded that our roots run deep. We spread across, and our roots are entwining one with another so that we can strengthen ourselves as we amplify our voices to speak to what we need, how we need to be, how are we going to get there. Yeah, it's that place where we get to be beautifully us. And I want to give a shout out to Shayna Goggins and Akeisha Townsend and Crystal Good and Katanya Hart and Dr. Shaniqua Smith and Dr. Mustafa Santiago Ali, to Dr. Frank X. Walker and to Dr. Turner, to Denise Abdul Rahman and Jackie Patterson. I lift up those names because they have helped to build up Black. They were participants in the launch. They were bloodlines to the formation of Black. And I want to give out a shout out to our other supporters, Ohio River Valley Institute, Reimagine Appalachia. Those who have supported us, and people like Patty DeMarco and Annie Regan and Dana Kuhnlein, Amanda Woodrum. Sometimes you just have to give people their flowers while they're still here. And you know what? I want to give a big shout out to you. Because no matter what we do, if there's no you and I in it, then we don't have community, because it's a you and I in community. and we lose the unity that's also in community. So let us join together. Let us come to that place in the village. Let us come and sit, and let us just come and breathe deeply. Let us inhale deeply and exhale with sound. Let our imaginations flow. Let our hearts be open as we sit in the space of Blac Re-Membering, highlighting the heavy and bringing the hope. Thank you for being in our village, and thank you for being a root connected to another root so that we can continue to run deep. Take care, y'all. Hope you enjoy the podcast.